Question here is, what is a contingency in real estate? So I'm going to share with you three things right now that you need to know about a contingency in real estate. And the first one is simply, what is a contingency? Essentially, a contingency is either a clause or it's a condition, or it could be a protection. It's a way in order for a real estate transaction to move forward. A contingency would be in order for us to continue moving forward, something would happen, right? For instance, if a buyer comes and says, well, I want to buy your property, but it would be contingent on me selling my home. So that would mean in order for the buyer to perform, their home would have to sell, right? Or it could be the other way around as well. It could be a seller saying, well, in order for me to sell my house to you, then I have to first go out and find something else. So again, it means for A to happen, then B has to happen, and then C has to happen in order for A. So essentially, I hate to say it like this, but it does creates some challenges as a buyer in real estate, because it creates some weaknesses, especially in a market like the one we're in right now, where inventory is at such an all-time low. It makes it very, very difficult to purchase a property when you have a contingencies. Okay, so or contingency. So, and then the second point I want to make is when it comes to weaknesses, right? Because a contingency can be weak, can also put you in a stronger position depending on what side of the table you're on. So as a buyer now, let's say you go to a property, you want to purchase a property, but now you have to go and sell your home in order to purchase. That means you're writing an offer that's contingent on me going back now and selling my property. So now you show up and you want to make an offer. Well, the problem is, again, where the market is so competitive, there's such a shortage of inventory. Most sellers are not going to take that contingency serious because they just don't have to, because there's so many other buyers. I mean, in the properties in our area, we're seeing multiple offer situations where people are going 5, 10, 15% over asking price. So again, why would somebody go with a contingency? Now, the other side of that, the third point I want to make is sometimes the contingency could put you in a position of strength, because maybe now you have a seller on the other end that needs that extra time or wants that extra time. So maybe in that case where you'd be willing to pay a little bit more than somebody else because of the contingency, but now that it gives the seller some time to say, well, you know what, that, since they have to also sell their house, that gives us time to find the perfect house. Does that make sense? So it could create a place of strength as well. Or you see this a lot on the seller side of the transaction, where a seller will put their home on the market. And this actually is a smart way to doing it in a lot of cases. Will put their home on the market, and it will be contingent on them finding suitable housing. Meaning, I can put my house on the market, I can have buyers see it, but then when the buyer shows up, the buyer knows I'll let them tie up my property for a certain amount of time. And I've seen some as far as 6 months, and I'll accept your offer, but you need to give me 6 months now to go find the perfect house. So again, now it puts you as a seller in a strength of a position of strength. Does that make sense? So I hope you understand. Like, so, contingencies, depending on where you're coming from, can be a good thing or can be a bad thing. And the other, again, it's protecting you though. So, because if you have a home, let's say you go out and you make an offer on a property, and you need to get financing in order to purchase this property, and you don't put a contingency in, and let's say you say, well, you know what, I'm just going to go forward. I'm confident my home's going to sell, and I'll put down my $10,000 deposit or whatever. And then all of a sudden, let's just say your home doesn't sell for whatever reason. Now you can't buy this home. Well, you just lost your deposit. So the contingency again is a protection. So the 3 points I want to make today is a contingency is a clause. It's a protection. It's a condition. The second point is a contingency can certainly be a weakness, but a contingency can also be a strength. So I know there's a lot there. what I would do is I would talk to a real estate agent that knows what they're talking about and can explain to you how a contingency in your specific situation, because it really is going to come down to your situation, right? So in your situation, is, you want to talk to an agent and say, okay, is a contingency something that's going to help me here, or is it going to hurt me here in this situation? And just make the best decision based on your situation and best based on the information you have. And again, if you find a really, really good real estate agent that knows what they're talking about and is going to work in your best interest, then they will definitely guide you in making the right decision when it comes to a home contingency. And hey, if I would ask you to please check out our next video on real estate, it's awesome.